All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the M1 podcast. And before I start, I would like to let y'all know that I do write sports articles on Stadium Rant, and I do have an Instagram and one, the number one underscore podcast, and a Twitter and one podcast 23. Now, oh man, the second round is over. Tonight is game one of Pacers versus Celtics. Tomorrow night, Timberwolves versus Mavericks. Now, I want to talk about the second round. Okay, so let me start off with the East. Yeah, Boston got through Cleveland, unfortunately. Now, did Jason Tatum play bad? In the first two games, yes. But at the end, I'm going to give him his props. He was hooping. He was looking like a superstar, finally. He was finally looking like the best player on the Boston Celtics. Some people might think that I was hating on Jason Tatum. I was being too harsh or whatever. But in reality, I don't hate him. He's great. He's a great player. He is a superstar, future MVP, but he wasn't living up to those MVP expectations during the first round and the first two games of the Cleveland series. But at the end of the series, he was hooping. Game 3, 33 points. Game 4, 33 points, although the efficiency was not the best. But game 5, he did have 25 points on good efficiency, 56% from the field and 42% from three. But I will still say that he was hooping, even though the efficiency still wasn't there. It wasn't up to par, but I'll give him a slide. But now I want to talk about first. Actually, before I go to Pacers and Knicks, I want to talk about little rumors that Donovan Mitchell is not happy. He was a bit upset with the maturity of the Cleveland Cavaliers for some players. But then Donovan Mitchell wants to say that he's happy in Cleveland. Very, very similar. Look, maybe, I don't know. Back in 2009, good old player, Cleveland Cavaliers legend, he said that he was happy in Cleveland as well. I wonder how that went. You know, I believe his name is LeBron James. He said that he was happy in Cleveland, and then he left like a year later, and he went to Miami. Could the same thing happen to Donovan? Please, Donovan Mitchell, come to Miami. You know, Donovan Mitchell, he's a free agent next season too. He's a free agent next season, so that's even better. So LeBron said that he was happy in Cleveland. One more year later, he was a free agent and he went to Miami. Donovan Mitchell said he's happy in Cleveland. He has one more year on his contract next season. He's a free agent. Miami, maybe, hopefully, Donovan. That'll be great. You can come to Miami. We have amazing women. I'm telling you, amazing weather. Right now it's pretty hot, heat wave, but it's beautiful in Miami. Donovan Mitchell, please come to Miami. Make the Miami Heat even better, please. Unfortunately, there was no Jared Allen. Donovan Mitchell missed like half that series as well. No Karis LeVert. So Cleveland was not looking the best, I will say. They weren't looking the best. But I will not take anything away from Boston. Boston was hooping. Cleveland was putting up a fight. Evan Mobley needs to be better offensively. He needs to show more offensive aggression. He's great defensively, but he needs to show a little bit more of offensive aggression, and Cleveland will do great things in the future. But now I want to talk about the Indiana Pacers versus the New York Knicks. I've been preaching about the Pacers for the longest time. I've been preaching about the Pacers since the in-season tournament, and nobody wanted to say anything. I've been preaching about the Pacers. They're a dark horse. I've been saying it for the longest time, and if you don't believe me, look at previous episodes. You can watch them. I have been saying that the Pacers are a dark horse. I may not have said that they'll win a championship, but after that Siakam trade, one more star, they're definitely winning a championship. But I got the Pacers in 6. I got the Pacers in 6 against Boston. Now, before I say why I have the Pacers in 6, I want to go back to that Boston and I said Boston. I want to go back to that New York and Pacers series because everybody wants to say, oh, well, let me tell you something, okay? The New York Knicks, they ain't had nobody. Let me tell you something right now, okay? The New York Knicks, my New York Knicks, they ain't had nobody. Everybody was injured. Okay, but I'm not taking away nothing from the New York Knicks. They played a great match. They played a great series. I'm not taking away nothing from the Indiana Pacers. They were a great team. But my New York Knicks, they were hurt. They were hurt. No OG Anunoby. No Jalen Brunson. He goes down with a fractured hand. I already said OG Anunoby. But we lost Mitchell Robinson. We also lost Mitchell Robinson. We also lost Bogdanovich as well. And Josh Hart. with the abdominal. My Knicks, my Knicks, and yes, yes, yes. I know the Knicks. They were not healthy. They were not a fully healthy team. They were not, unfortunately, because honestly, even though I don't like the Knicks, unfortunately, if the Knicks were healthy, most likely the Knicks would have won that series. But they were open. I'll give it to the Knicks. Props to the Knicks. Even though that they were dealing with a lot of injuries, they still managed to put up a good fight, even though they got their butts whooped in game 7 and allowed the Pacers to shoot 67% from the field. What an amazing game it was for the Pacers. 67.1% from the field as a team. And that is the greatest field goal percentage for any playoff team in one game. And that is how Boston is going to lose the series against the Indiana Pacers. Why? Because Indiana is just so good offensively that you cannot keep up. If you slow them down, you're going to win. But when it comes to Boston, if you outshoot them, you're going to win the game. And I'm not expecting Indiana to shoot 67% from the field again. That was just a great game for them in the Knicks arena, by the way. But I will say that if the Indiana Pacers have it clicking, if it's clicking for the Pacers, Boston is not winning that series. They're not winning a game. I'm not saying they're going to get swept, but they're not going to win the game if the Pacers are got it clicking, because like I said, you just got to outshoot Boston, because that's all they do. Shoot threes, shoot threes, shoot threes. That's how Miami got game 2. Miami just outshot Boston. And seeing how great the Indiana Pacers offense is, the way the ball moves around over and over and over again, trying to find an open man. And Miles Turner is a great defender. We already knew that, but damn, he is really looking like a defensive player of the year candidate in these playoffs. But that offense, when Tyrese Halliburton is looking around, and I also want to mention Tyrese Halliburton being aggressive. When Tyrese Halliburton is aggressive, the Pacers cannot be stopped. Oh man, Tyrese Halliburton was very, very aggressive in the final games of that next series, and that was great. That was because that's what the Pacers needed. Because Tyrese Halliburton in the first 2 games, he was very, very passive. Game 3 comes, that's when he starts getting more aggressive, and it shows. It shows when your best player, even though he's a pass first player, when your best player is playing aggressive, that is when you cannot stop the team. You can't stop them. Now, as I said, Pacers in 6. Pacers are going back to the NBA Finals. Damn right. But I want to travel to the Western Conference. I'm going to start off with OKC versus the Mavericks. I said Mavericks in 6. I said it, and it was Mavericks in 6. Game 6, the ending to Game 6 was amazing. That was incredible. That is playoff basketball right there. Mavericks, I'm not going to lie. If they lost Game 6, they would have lost Game 7 too. They would have most likely lost Game 7 if they went back to OKC. And that was great. They just won by 1 point. They were 2 points away from being eliminated. 2 points. Because if they won that, oh man. But the ending was amazing. Kyrie Irving. Man, those clutch shots from Kyrie, clutch step back from Luka, clutch step back from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But then it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Although I thought it was a block, unfortunately it was a foul, which led to 3 free throws and putting the Mavs up by 1, which then led to the win. PJ Washington knocking down those 2 free throws and then missing that third one on purpose. He missed that third one on purpose. Let's be real. The Mavs advanced to the conference finals once again. Luka Doncic goes to another conference finals in his young career. That is insane. And Kyrie's record in closeout, what is it, 14-0? 12-0 or 14-0 in closeout games. So Kyrie's just clutch like that, man. But the Nuggets. Oh man, that's wow. I was not expecting the beatdown that the Nuggets got. I was not expecting the choke job that the Nuggets were gonna do. Up by 20 points. 20 points. How ironic. They came back from a 20-point lead against the Lakers in round 1. And in round 2, it was a 20-point lead that they blew, and then they lost Game 7. Anthony Edwards is the future face of the league, and the Timberwolves go back to the conference finals for the first time since 2004. This is their second conference finals appearance. 20 years ago was the last time they made it to the conference finals. Coincidentally, 24 years ago was the last time the New York Knicks made the conference finals. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Okay, next season is the New York Knicks. It's the new look. Let me tell you. Okay, look, the New York Knicks. The New York, we dealt with a lot of injuries. We dealt with a lot of injuries, but this is gonna be our season next season. Jalen Brunson, he's coming back and he's gonna be MVP. He's gonna win the MVP, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the New York Knicks are going to the conference finals for the first time since 2000, and we're gonna win the championship for the first time in 51 years. But next season is gonna be 52. The last time they won a championship, I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you something. The New York Knicks, this our season. This next season is gonna be our season. Well, a healthy New York Knicks, they're the team to beat. They're gonna be the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. They're gonna be the team to beat. But I digress. Stephen A. Smith is very, very passionate about the New York Knicks. But going back to the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, 20 years ago was the last time that the Timberwolves made it to the conference finals, and this possibly could be their first finals appearance in team history. And it's insane that it's been 6 years since the last time a team was able to repeat a finals appearance. 6 years ago. Last time was the Warriors super team. We all know how that went. Those were the dark times in the NBA. But now we're in night times. Think about it. Let's see. The Toronto Raptors, they won a championship. That was their first ever championship in 2019. 2020, the Lakers. 2021 was the Bucks. Milwaukee gets another championship. 2022 was the Warriors. 2023, the last season, that was the Denver Nuggets. And 2024, we have the possibility for another team to have their first championship in team history. Those teams either being the Timberwolves or the Pacers. Those two teams have another team to get their first championship. So we have the Raptors in 2019. In just like under 10 years, possibly 3 different teams are going to get their first championship in team history. Yeah, the Raptors in 2019, last season with the Denver Nuggets, and this season possibly being the Timberwolves or the Pacers. That is nice to see. We no longer have this team is going back to the finals. That team's going back to the finals. You're going to see him in the finals again. LeBron James really made going to the finals very easy. And people want to say that he's not the GOAT. Ain't that something? 8 straight finals, and people want to say he's not the GOAT. Imagine going to 8 straight NBA finals, even though you didn't win all of them, going to 8 straight NBA finals. 8 consecutive finals. Not to mention all those regular season minutes that he was also playing. So, shout out to Swish out making a video about that yesterday at the time of this recording. Yep. And people want to say that he's not the GOAT. Yeah, he didn't win all of them, but he made it to the finals in 8 straight years. And nowadays, it seems like if you don't make it to the finals as a superstar, you're seen as a fraud. If you don't make it to the finals after winning MVP, you're seen as a fraud. You're already seeing it with Luka. I said Luka. You're seeing it with Jokic. People are all over social media are out here clowning Jokic because they lost in Game 7. People are out here clowning Jokic because the Denver Nuggets didn't make it to the finals. And I will say this. My predictions were completely off because I said the Lakers and the Miami Heat were going to the NBA Finals this year, both teams being eliminated in the first round. But I did say the Nuggets were going to most likely repeat and elimination in the second round. This is great for the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. This is great because we got 4 different players. You got Tyrese, you got Luka, you got Anthony Edwards and Tatum. All 4 of them. One of them is getting their first ever championship. And that is nice to see. No more constant repeat champions. No more constant repeat NBA Finals appearances. Y'all remember when the LeBron and the Cavs and Steph Curry and the Warriors were always making the finals, and then we just had all these memes. Oh my God, bro! Like 5 years from now, it's just gonna be Cleveland and Golden State. Oh my God, bro! In like 10 years, we're gonna be seeing LeBron and Curry in the finals once again. Oh my God, Curry and LeBron finals once again. And now we are in an NBA. We are in a time where that's not happening until maybe for a while. And 2, super teams, the super team era is most likely dead. And Phoenix is probably the last super team, if you want to call them a super team. I mean, in reality, like all 3 players have the ability to average 30 points per game in a season. Not to mention that Kevin Durant is a superstar. Devin Booker is a star, and you got Bradley Beal, who's an all-star caliber player. So that is a super team by definition, in my opinion, right? But they weren't playing like one. So Phoenix is most likely the last super team. So finally, the super team era is done. Now it's going to be well designed teams where you have one star, one superstar, a star, or maybe an all star caliber player, and a bunch of role players. That's it. Or maybe two stars, all star caliber player, and then role players. Maybe that's how teams will be built nowadays. But super teams where it's just like superstar, all star, or superstar, star, all star, or borderline star. That's done. But I want to give my prediction to the Dallas and Minnesota Timberwolves series. Before I give my prediction, I want to apologize to the Timberwolves again. I was not familiar with your game. Oh yeah, that's the meme. But I was not familiar with y'all, cause dang, I really had Denver in 7, and in reality, it was Minnesota in 7. I apologize. I am a believer in the Timberwolves now. I really am. I should have been a believer since the sweep in Phoenix, but then again, it was Phoenix. It was an old decrepit super team that wasn't gonna work in anyways. But dang, the way that they blew out, they not even just blow out. They oh my god, I don't even know a word. I can't even think of a PG word to describe what they did to Denver in game 6. 45 points in the fourth quarter. They Denver scored 9 points in the fourth quarter of game 6. 9 points. You can get 9. Reggie Miller scored 9 points in 8 seconds. Yo, bro, you can get 9 points in a minute by an NBA team nowadays. And in 12 minutes of basketball, the Denver Nuggets only scored 9 points. And here comes game 7, where they were up by 20 points coming into the first half. And then by the second half, Denver just looked done. They looked tired. They were allowing so many offensive rebounds down in the fourth quarter, the final minutes of the fourth quarter, so many offensive rebounds. And I think it was like 45 seconds left in the game, or like 40 to 30 seconds left in the game, where I think it was Mike Conley. He missed a 3, and then just nobody in the paint. Absolutely nobody. And then you just see from the corner of your eye, from the corner of the screen, you just see Karl-Anthony Towns running into the paint. He put back dunk. That moment was when I just realized, well, the Nuggets are done. That was the moment I realized that game is over. Denver just got eliminated in 7 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves. There was one moment where I saw Anthony Edwards just walking down the court. He was just casually bringing up the ball, and he looks at the fans of Denver, and he's waving at them. He knew it was game. He knew the game was over. And we're out here making fun of Jokic. We, as NBA fans, are making fun of Jokic because of the stare that he gave in game 6 just to not win in game 7. As if Jokic did not ball out in game 7. Was Jokic efficient by his standards? No, not at all. 46% from the field. Still efficient, but to his standards, no. 20% from 3? No, not good at all. But 34 points, 19 rebounds, 7 assists? You telling me he wasn't hooping? No, man. Jokic definitely did take that game personally. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but he was going off. He almost had a 30-20 game right there. And he almost had a nice little 30-20-10 game right there, too. 3 more assists, you got a triple-double. 1 more rebound, 30-20-10. Boom. Although Jokic should have been making a lot more threes, 2 for 10 is not acceptable at all, especially when he's shooting. When it comes to the last 20 seconds of a quarter and there's intense defense on him, and like it just goes in, that's unacceptable. 20% from 3 is unacceptable from anybody, but especially when you are a great shooter yourself. But look, I'm not gonna hold anything on Jokic. It's not all on Jokic. The Denver Nuggets as a team just didn't do good. They didn't, and that's okay. They won a championship last year. You can't expect. Look, I don't get it. The expectations these days is to repeat, then three-peat. And the last time there was a three-peat was the 1990s, was the Chicago Bulls. That was the last time there was a three-peat. My bad. I just realized I forgot Shaq and Kobe. I am so sorry. Oh my lord. The last time there was a three-peat, let me rephrase, was in the 2000s, the early 2000s Lakers, 2000, 2001, and 2002. That was the last three-peat. They couldn't even get a four-peat, all right? And in reality, when you think about it, how dominant Shaq was, Kobe was an up-and-coming rising star, and they couldn't get a four-peat. They lost to Detroit, who coincidentally is the worst team in the NBA right now. But they lost to Detroit, showing you that, yes, although you have your success, it's not going to be lasting that long. It's not going to be there all the time, over and over. You can't expect a team to always get championships every single year. Although, yes, is it possible for a team to repeat? Yes, it is possible, but that shouldn't be the constant expectation. That shouldn't be. And when you do win a championship, yes, the expectation is to go back and win another championship. It is to hopefully get a three-peat because you want your team to win a championship. You want your team to win championships because that just shows how great your team is. But that's just not the case. Sometimes there's going to be injuries. Sometimes players may not show up. Sometimes guys are just gassed. Honestly, the Knicks in Game 7, they just looked gassed. Game 6, same thing. Teams that they're human. They are human. Although yes, they are in tip-top shape, most of them at least. But they are in great shape. But they're gonna get tired. They're gonna get fatigued. I mean, think about it. Denver, they went through 5 games against the Lakers, but now they went through 7 games, and yeah, they were up by 20. But nowadays, think about it, bro. Nowadays, you can cut a 20-point lead in 1 quarter. As long as you get a stop and you go on a 15-0 run or something like that, you can cut a 20-point lead in just 1 quarter nowadays. 20-point leads don't mean nothing. And maybe 15 years ago, a 20-point lead most likely is going to mean the win. But these days, a 20-point lead, you can't get your hopes up anymore because if the final buzzer doesn't go off, the game is not over. We also saw it in the first round against the Clippers, Mavs and Clippers. The Clippers were up by 31 points, and they literally blew that lead. The Clippers ended up winning that game, but they were up by 31, and they blew a 31-point lead. So no matter what lead, although maybe if it's like 40 points or something like that, right? But if there's 1 or 2 quarters left, don't get your hopes up. Now I'm going to give my prediction for the Mavs and Timberwolves. And in all honesty, I've been sitting down yesterday, today, pacing, laying down, thinking about this series. This series is going to 7 games. It's going to 7 games. But who do I think is going to win? In all honesty, I don't know. This is the first series that I don't have a clear-cut winner because anybody in this series can literally just go out and just destroy the other team. Luka can go off. Kyrie can go off. Anthony Edwards can go off. Hell, even Karl Anthony Towns can possibly go off. It's going to be an entertaining series. It's going to be a great series. Boston and Pacers, that's going to be a great series as well. I can't wait to see that. I got Pacers in 6, and maybe I might even change it to Pacers in 5. I don't know, but I got the Pacers winning that. Pacers are going to the finals. I will honestly think, I do believe that the Timberwolves will most likely win their series against the Mavericks, but I don't have a clear-cut winner. So for now, I'm going to say the Timberwolves. But now, you know what? I sound like a bandwagon now if I say for now I got the Timberwolves. So I'm just going to stay neutral for that series. But for the East, I got the Pacers. But I did say also, if the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets, they're going to the finals and most likely winning the finals. So you know what? F it. I got the Timberwolves. Timberwolves in 7, Pacers in 6. Those are my predictions for the conference finals. It's going to be Pacers and Timberwolves. One of those teams are getting their first championship. And that is a nice series right there. That is great because no matter who wins, somebody's getting a first championship. But for the NBA's point of view, you would want the Timberwolves to win that championship. You know why? Because everybody's talking about Anthony Edwards being the new face of the league, Anthony Edwards being the next face of the league. And think about it. At 22 years old, people are saying you're going to be the next face of the league. And in that same season, you win a championship. Not only winning a championship, but you led your team to winning a championship, sweeping an all-time great like Kevin Durant. beating the defending champions in 7 games, whooping their butts in game 6 by 45, and then going on to the conference finals, winning in the conference finals, and then going to the finals, winning a championship while being the best player at 22 years old. Oh my God. You see that narrative right there? That's what the NBA is going to want. So the refs, they're going to get their whistles ready because they're going to try their absolute hardest to get the Timberwolves to the finals. Narrative for the Eastern Conference. Now, we already got the Michael Jordan comparisons of Anthony Edwards, so imagine him going to the finals. But what about Jason Tatum? Those Kobe comparisons to Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics make it to the NBA Finals. Now, we were never blessed with Kobe versus Jordan in the NBA Finals, but all these Jordan comparisons for Anthony Edwards and all the Kobe comparisons for Jason Tatum, and they meet up in the NBA Finals, and now you're seeing Kobe versus Jordan. Although they're not obviously Kobe and Jordan, but they have similar styles of Kobe and Jordan with their game, and if Jason Tatum even shows up in the finals. But I got the Pacers, so it doesn't even matter. But that's a nice narrative right there, right? That is a very nice narrative. But that's everything that I have for today. Oh my goodness, the NBA season is really about to end very soon. As of this recording, game 1 of Boston versus Indiana is tonight. Pacers in 6, Timberwolves in 7. This is going to be a great NBA Finals this year. And with that, I am out.